Hello everybody, we are the Geeks and Degenerates. I am Enzo, this is my forever co-host Jump. And today we do another redo of our earlier videos that we did every plot line of, which is The Godfather, a classic. Because there are two directors this year coming out with two movies that have like an insane filmography. So like in celebration of that, we're talking about some classics this week. Starting with, of course, as I said, The Godfather. Now, every YouTuber or every film buff has said everything about this movie, praise-wise, and like the only thing we can tackle here, since it is one of our core values in the Philippines, is talk about the family of The Godfather.
Family.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't turn your back on family.
Exactly. But yeah, did you ever watch this as a kid? For those who are new here?
No, I did not. I remember watching this a little bit older, and then I rewatched it with my mom because she's really like into mafia movies or anything when it comes to crime.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like this is not my like. This is not like my cup of tea. I mean, no, it is my cup of tea. I love the drama. I love the writing. I love everything about it. It's just like, it's not a movie where I'm like, alright, cool, you know what? I feel like watching The Godfather.
Yeah. So once in a while,
it's 3 fucking hours.
Yeah.
3 fucking hours! Like, I was like, I really gotta hunker down and turn my brain on, because it's a lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of shootouts, kind of like gangster shootouts and all that shit. A little bit.
Yeah.
But the writing is just pure gold. And when you say action, more or less just hits, you know, like Hitman hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, like and like you're mostly there also for Marlon Brando. Like,
Yeah.
dude's fucking amazing, and even Al Pacino's fucking amazing playing as his son.
Yeah. I remember watching this when I was way too young on HBO because I was at least 8 when it came on HBO, and then I was just staring at the TV, and then my mom came down. She's like, "What are you watching?" And then panic, and then changed to another channel. And I was like, "Oh, I guess I'm too young." But
No,
yeah,
I mean, if you got to the Sicily part, yeah.
yeah. I think I was like, "Oh, just at the opening," but she was just like, "Nope, you're not watching the rest of this." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay." But later on, as like a later teen and like young adult, I got to watch the full version of this, and I was just drawn to it. Like I have bias towards mafia movies or any crime family movies. That's why I like shows like The Sopranos or Narcos so much. But yeah, going right into the family, you see how powerful the Godfather can be in the early 20th century. Like this man has so much control over his life and the lives of his family. Like the fact that it's his daughter's wedding and he's the one sending out the invite, you're like, wait a minute, isn't she supposed to be the one inviting? What kind of tradition is this?
I don't know, I guess it's an Italian thing. But, dude, I don't know if it was... I remember somebody made a meme where they finally sat down and watched The Godfather.
Yeah.
And the entire opening act where it's just a party, it's the wedding, it was a little too long.
Yeah.
Like, even me, I was like, I forgot how long this was.
Right?
Like, it's just celebration, people dancing, and, you know, like...
Yeah.
Like, alright, show me The Godfather, come on.
Right? Like Francis Ford Coppola takes his time showing Italian culture, or Italian American culture, and it's impressive. But like for modern standards, you're just like, you were here for a while, and you see what the Godfather or who the Godfather meets with, like actors, senators, and like even Michael's like, yeah, one time his godson asked him for a favor, and he came with his hitman and told the guy like, either you end his contract or I'm gonna blow your brains out. And that's the power that Vito Corleone has. And you're just like,
Yeah.
shit.
But the director's just like, fuck off. You know, I ain't giving your godson the part because he slept with somebody he knew, and I'm like, all right, fair enough. But the next day they found the dead horse, which is a very controversial scene because that was a real dead horse.
Yeah, with rotting meat that they had to do multiple takes off, and you're just like, God, filming in the 70s was a different beast, wasn't it?
It was. I don't agree with killing a fucking animal, but
I think it was already dead. I just think it was just left to rot in the bed for a while. No? Then
I don't know. I don't fucking. They really abused the fucking like horses.
Yeah, standards
Like,
weren't the same
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah, like to show that like a horse like gets shot, they would like put a string on the floor and then like they make it run and then it'll just like topple over.
Oh, poor
If
thing.
it breaks a leg, then I'm like, sorry, Bessie, you know, just like.
Yeah, but yeah, from that you see how far the Godfather's reach is and how much control he has. Like and that's why you see Michael trying to distance himself. He's like, I got nothing to do with that. I served in the military. I just want to make my own life with Kate, and like for the most part he does, but he gets dragged in because someone tries to kill Vito Corleone and take out the family, and Michael
One
has to
hell
step
of an
in.
attempt. It was 5 bullets.
Yeah. And you're like, well, is Vito Corleone just a fucking tank inside? I don't understand this, but
Yeah, he had
sure.
family.
Yeah, he lived for the family. But yeah, Michael has to step up because assassins are coming to the hospital. He's like, I gotta do something. And then he hides his father long enough for the police captain, who's obviously with the other family, to break his jaw. And you're like, are you sure hitting the son of a mafia boss is the wisest thing to do, even though they don't kill police? That's a part of their moral code, if you can call it that. But are you sure you want to hit the son? Is that the
Yeah.
best decision?
By the way, seeing Al Pacino's character, the next scene, he just has a huge swell. I was like,
Yeah.
did he get hit for real?
Yeah.
What's happening here? Yeah. But also, yeah, we also found out that one of Vito Corleone's like hitmen,
I was about to betray
Yes.
them. Yeah.
yeah, he gets hit. Like he like gets strangled, gets his hand like they put a knife through his hand and everything.
Yeah. The hits
Yeah.
here are brutal. Even for something made in the 70s, you're like, Jesus Christ.
Dude, I mean, like, okay, I don't know if it was part of the plan, but one of its like bodyguards like called in sick
Yeah.
that day, and that's why he got shot.
Yeah.
So they kind of just stuck him at the back and like, you know, like he shot him like a dog kind of deal. Just
Right.
like, pop, pop. All right, cool.
Yeah, and then there's like, don't forget the food, and you're like, I guess this is ordinary life in the mafia. Where you're like, he's dead. Can you get my food for
I
me
guess.
though?
Well, not gonna lie, if you fail at your job to protect the boss, even though you called it in sick, I guess there are consequences when the fucker needed you.
Yeah. They're like, it's so suspicious, bro. And he's like, oh man, okay. But yeah, Michael has to step up, even though Sonny doubts him. Sonny and Fredo are the eldest. But Michael is just like, look, I am duty bound because he is my father to do something. So why don't we kill the mob boss and the police captain, and then I'll just fuck off somewhere safe for a bit. And he
Yeah,
does.
he does do it.
Yeah.
And this scene was actually pretty cool. Like he just offs him just like that, just straight up point blank.
Yeah.
And man has to go all the way to Sicily and
Yeah.
has a whole new life.
Yeah.
Like this is like isekai before isekais. Like man pretty much just lives a whole new life here. Finds a new woman. I was like, what happened to the girl?
Yeah.
Like at the start of this movie. But okay. Gets married to her, has an entire house. Well, yeah, because he's the son of Vito Corleone.
Yeah.
Pretty much the guy's all set and just enjoying like the provincial life of Italy,
Yeah.
which is nice in my opinion.
Um,
But yeah, sadly the mafia kind of catches on and like finds out where he is at, and like his poor wife, she's like, I want to dive. Boom! It's like, oh my god.
yeah. Going back to America for a bit, they found out that Michael's sister, Connie, is having marital problems, to say the least. and you're just like, that's rough
Dude,
to watch.
I was like, if I had zero morals or like I have been living a life of crime,
Yeah.
and that was happening to my like sister,
Yeah,
that husband will be no more.
yeah. Just the
Like
first fight.
from the first instance of a black eye, I'm like, nah. Tell
Yeah,
me where he's at.
yeah. Just the first fight. I'm just like, you're not gonna finish him. You sure? You wanna?
Yeah.
You don't wanna finish him?
Yeah, like man gets beat up in the street, but like as soon as he gets back home, you see the motherfucker just whipping. I'm like, oh my god,
Right?
this was hard to watch. I was
Yeah.
like,
Later on, you find out he's just using Connie as bait to lure Sunny, so the other rivals can just whack poor Sunny with like a billion shots to the chest and face.
this was the coolest scene in my opinion. This movie when it comes to like gunfights.
Yeah,
I was like, hell yeah. But poor Sonny just, I don't know, has an entire like military's arsenal inside him
Yeah.
at this point.
yeah, and you're just like, well, I think watching it as a teen, after I was denied watching this as a kid, I was just like, I get why I wasn't allowed to see this, because Jesus Christ, it's cool to see like all the practical effects. At the same time, you're like, in the words of Vito Corleone, you're just like, yeah, they did massacre the poor fucker. I don't know why they couldn't just headshot him and be done with that.
Yeah, like just 2 shots, curb stomp, But
He's
nah. But like, yeah.
I do love how Michael has this old anime arc of like being like the pure boy at the beginning and then becoming the villain at the end. Like he comes back to America, obviously changed. He comes back with goes back to his first fling at the beginning, which is Kate, and sets down to do business. I do love the conversation he has with Vito, where Vito's like, I never wanted this for you. I wanted a different life for you. I know you know what this business is, and that's why I know why you distance yourself. And Michael's just like, but I have to step up now because Sonny's gone. And you're like,
Yeah. Yeah, and the other brother's a little too much of an idiot.
yeah, like just giving himself away to like the Las Vegas guy that Michael
my
just
God.
like shuts down with 2 words or 2 sentences. You're like, yeah, you really are a changed man, Michael Corleone. Even shuts down his brother. He's like, don't you ever take sides with someone who's against the family again, Fredo. You know you're my brother and I love you. Don't ever do that. You're like, I think he means business, Fredo. Please don't cross lines.
Yeah, this is a part where Al Pacino gets terrifying.
Yeah,
I love it. Like, before Al Pacino became kind of a caricature of himself, he was Michael Corleone. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm all there for just like the absolute change of a soldier boy who's just like prim and proper. He knows his morals. He knows what's right and wrong. And now he is starting to become the head of the family. The man's skipping levels. Like, it's supposed to be like, oh, eldest gets rights too.
yeah.
One gets shot and the other one's an idiot. So he kind of just like rockets his way towards like leadership. And Vito Corleone, like, after all that he's been through, man finally gets home, is enjoying life. He's with his grandson, playing in the garden, picking tomatoes. Man just has a heart attack.
You're like, oh, how the mighty fall.
I mean, hey, I guess it's a peaceful way of going. I don't fucking.
I mean, compared to being shot 5 times or being strangled or the copious amounts of violent ways you can be dispatched with in this movie, you're like, it's the least violent. It's the least like painful, I think.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, if I was a mob boss, this is probably the way I want to go.
Yeah.
In my 70s, through a heart attack.
Yeah. And like I love seeing how Michael Corleone completes his anime villain arc when like his godson is being baptized while he's carrying out these hits, and like you're like, do you believe in Jesus Christ or do you deny Satan? Like kills 5 people. He's like, yeah, of course.
He's just like, I do.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
The priest is just like. But like, I do love it that he just takes care of like the 5 rivals of the family,
Yeah.
just one by one. I'm like, poor bastard from like Las Vegas, while he's getting a massage, gets a bullet through the eye.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah. Like the one guy trapped in the spinning door. Like, well, that's not a peaceful way to go.
that's why I never trusted him.
Exactly. And then Michael has one more hit, which is Connie's husband. And again, as you said, this is when Michael is absolutely terrifying. He's quiet, and that's what makes him terrifying. He's not Sunny, who's loud. But the way Al Pacino speaks in a calm and terrifying manner, like, I think I'd be shitting myself if I was Connie's husband.
Yeah, because you're double thinking. Because he says one thing, but clearly he means the other.
Yeah.
Like yeah, he when he did a hit on his brother-in-law, the one that was like hitting his sister.
Yeah.
Deserved. Very cool scene where his like foot like goes out of like the windshield.
Yeah.
Like I love every bit of that scene because I was like, deserved, you son of a bitch. And you just see Vito Crow.
Michael.
Michael Corleone. He's just like sitting, and as the plans just go through, and like his sister comes in like, "You killed my husband." I'm like, "What the fuck you expect? He's hitting you. We're in a mob."
Right? Like, you
God
expect-
forbid he sneezes at your direction in a
Right.
disrespectful way.
Exactly. And Kay asks Michael, like, can you tell me what happened? Can you be honest with me? And he's like, fine, just this once. And he still lies to her. You're like,
Yeah.
alright.
Yeah, I was just like, but you know, like the entire time, I mean, like you know he's lying. Well,
Yeah.
the thing is, as an audience, you saw what happened,
Yeah.
but it's just like seeing him lie like that, scary. That shit's scary.
Yeah. And this is an example of a perfect ending where Kay knows what he's become and the door just slams shut on her.
Yeah, well, he reassures her. I was like, no, this is not life. I'm not gonna be that.
Yeah.
But then you see like his like goons like kissing his finger, like shaking his hand, and you already see like, oh, he's too far gone.
Yeah. He's too far down this path, like. And then you watch Godfather 2, you're like, you really are gone, man. Jesus, your anime villain arc is complete.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is a classic that's 50 plus years old and it still resonates because of the themes with family, and it's just a really good movie. That being said, what would you rate this movie?
I rate this movie a solid 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
You know, it is a fucking good movie. If you're into the whole mob bosses, you're into crime families, whether it be like Goodfellas, Irishman, or The Godfather, you would have a good time. If you're like interested in the whole like dialogues, like conversation between characters, or like how the inner mechanisms of a mob family works,
Yeah.
you would love this movie. Yeah, but if you're here for like gunfights, cool crimes, and very flashy, you know, esque like Peaky Blinders kind of scenes. By the way, Peaky Blinders, great fucking mob family TV show.
Yeah.
A lot of dialogue too. If you're into that, you would love The Godfather. You'll love the entire character of like Michael Corleone ascend to power when he clearly didn't want it at the start.
Yeah.
You get to see Marlon Brando as well. He really steals the show when he's on screen, even though you don't see him. You only see him like form a hit once.
Yeah.
But you can already feel that this guy's a big deal.
Yeah.
They did such an amazing job. But the downside is that this thing is very long. It drags in some areas. And if you're into like movies that are like action packed and all that stuff, and a very fast pace, this might not be your cup of tea. Yeah, so like I'll give it a 9 because, well, I could keep I kind of like the storytelling. I love the dialogue between the characters, and the only problem I have is just the pacing, but other than that, this entire movie's
Yeah.
Action scenes in and of themselves is great. The ending, the conclusion, fucking badass. And I love how it just goes into two. People
Yeah.
say they didn't like two. I liked two.
Hmm.
It wasn't bad.
And
But
2
yeah.
was like almost 4 hours. You're like, God, these movies are pretty
Yeah,
good.
that was the only thing. Oh my god.
Yeah.
You Coppolas are crazy.
Yeah. But yeah,
Also, little did I know that Nicolas Cage is a Coppola.
yeah. It was just a small world. You're like, interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll give this a 10 out of 10 just simply because it does feel like the opening and closing of a book. You're just like, despite the very, very slow pace at the beginning, you're just like, I guess you want to be immersed in this world. It's just that if you've seen this like 20 times, you're kind of like, I kind of want to get to the good stuff, man. Can we pick up the pace?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I've only watched the movie like 4 times, and I'm just like on my 4th time, I'm just like, come on.
Right? You're just like, I've been immersed enough. I'm not even from America, man. Can we just go to the other stuff? But yeah, there's still a bit to be said because the cast and the characters are already iconic as it is. Vito, Michael, Sonny, Fredo, Connie, and all the respective actors who play their parts, from Marlon Brando, Michael, Al Pacino, all iconic. Even Sonny, whose actor goes on to be in Misery with for Stephen King with Kathy Bates. You're like, it's Sonny, and now he has 2 broken ankles. Jesus Christ. But yeah, it's a very iconic movie and very well made movie. And yeah, if you like really good sets, this is for you. If you like movies about family and the conflicts that go with on families, this is for you. Even though there are some things here that are outdated, you're like, that can be better. Or like some common or misconceptions on like toxic masculinity, when Vito's like telling the actor like, why are you crying like a little girl? You're like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. It was the 70s, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Well, other than that, it still holds the test of time, and I see why it's preserved in America's like national film archives for like years to come. I'm like, yeah, if there's any movie that deserves to be like preserved for the rest of time, it's this one. Whether it's for 100 years or 50 years, no matter how long the world has, I don't know the future, man. But yeah, yeah. To the audience watching, what's your favorite crime movie? Is it this? Is it Goodfellas? Is it fucking Scarface? Is it, I don't know, a show like Peaky Blinders? Is it Narcos? Whatever it is, please comment down below. But if you like what you see here, please leave a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok. TikTok to see your best and funniest moments. Spotify to yours on the go. And the Visuum Zoda's voices on TikTok and as well on Letterboxd. Where can they find you?
You can find me at JohnJoam_ on Instagram. It is Mark.
And until the next time, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.